Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bule Baba ki jai. Go on with chapter 21 in the Devi Bhagavatam, retold by Ramesh Menon. In a moment, Vedavyasa resumed his tale. When the Devi heard Mahisha's message to her, she threw back her head in a most fetching way and gave another great laugh. Then she said in her voice deep as the rumbling of thunder clouds, "You don't know me, Asura. I am the Devi Mahalakshmi, and I've come to kill this little demons like you. The Devas live in terror in your master. They have under your master. They have been deprived of their share in the yagyas in the worlds. The earth has become a sinister place since your Lord rules it. Yet, O Danavas, you speak honey words to me, and I am pleased of them. Otherwise, I would have made you a heap of ashes by now with fire from my eyes that can burn up the very stars. Go back to your master and tell him this from me. Evil one, leave Devaloka at once and go on down to Patala, where you belong. Or I will cut you into shreds with my arrows and send you to Yama's halls, as I have done with countless other asuras like you before. Listen to me, foolish demon, for I am showing you mercy. I am no man that Brahma's boon will save you from me. I am the Devi, and I have come just to kill you." When Mahisha's generals heard that terrible goddess, he said, still mildly and smiling, "Devi, you are only a woman, and our master Mahisa is the greatest warrior in the three worlds. How can you kill him? You have no army, and just look at you, how delicate you are. Ah, how beautiful. But my lord Mahisa is immense. He is half a man, half a great black beast. His legions are savage and endless, Devi. Mahisa will crush you as easily as an elephant disposes of a garland of flowers. What you say is true, that our king is an enemy of the Devas, but you, Devi, he already worships, which is why I speak words to you so sweetly. You are young, you are delectable. My master offers his entire kingdom. He offers himself as your servant. Forsake this reasonless anger, Devi. The only field upon which you should engage with our master is in the bed of swan's down, and then you will know perfect bliss." But the Devi said, "You are a fool's general. Danava, only a fool would choose to seek his death at a woman's hands, for only a fool would fail to remember how humiliating it is for a warrior to be killed by a woman. Asura, remember that when fate turns against one, a blade of grass becomes a thunderbolt. Fate has turned against your king now for his long villainy. Now, not his great body and his immense strength, nor the vast army that he commands, and not all his fierce commanders shall save him from me. His most impregnable fortress will not keep me out. When any jiva is born into this world, all his pleasures and pains, his loves and sorrows, are already written and come with him, and so too does the moment of his death, and he will not live a moment past that time. Go tell your master what I said. Say to him his death is nearer than he knows. If he wants to live, let him take his army and his people and fly down to Patala at once. There is no third way." When any jiva that Asura general, who was also Mahisha's chief minister, fell to thinking, should he kill the woman on land for what she dared say? But then his king had professed his desire for her. He wanted to marry the strange woman. The sage Asura decided he must not be rash, for if he killed the woman, Mahisha would be angry as he would be if she killed him. The Asura went back to Mahisha and said, "The beautiful Devi sits upon her golden lion with weapons all 18 hands. I said to her, my master Mahisa, Lord of the world, wants you to be his queen, lovely one. Marry him, and you shall be queen of queens and mistress of the whole world and the wealth in Swarga, Bhumi, and Patala. But my lord, she laughed in my face. She roared, your master is the son of a buffalo, and I mean to sacrifice him to the Devas, as should happen to beasts like him. Which woman in any world would have that monster for her husband? Tell him to find another buffalo like his mother, with whom he can lock horns. As for me, tell him, flee Devaloka at once, plunge down to Patala, where you belong, Rakshasa, or I will tear you from limb to limb. My lord, I would have killed her at once, but you told me that not to harm her because you love her. It is a dilemma, O king. I cannot tell whether you should woo her or fight her. You must do as you choose, and the future is hidden from us. Mahisa called a full Sabha of his ministers and said, wise ones, who is this Devi who rides on a lion and roars like the thunder at the end of time? Is she really who she says she is? I want to know that counsel you have for me, my friends. The minister said, Lord, a great emperor's court teems with flatterers. To give lofty advice is easy when one isn't sincerely concerned for the welfare of he who seeks counsel. But the truth is, no man can see the future, and which man who cannot see the future can advise you on this thing? Who can tell you who that woman is and what she will do? They spoke in concert, not committedly. The Lord growled, I would hear what each of you thinks one by one. So Viraksha stood forth, a lean and ominous Asuri, said considerately, the woman spoke in arrogance, my lord, empty words, hoping to frighten you. He laughed evilly. We all know how strong a woman hopes to be, and that dares threaten you. She will be yours to do with as you please. That will end this great debate over nothing. When he sat down, Dara rose as Asura, so ugly that enemies had swooned on the battlefield just by looking at him. He said, peerless king of lords, Virapaksha speaks wisely, but I have something to add to his wisdom. She desires you, master. She actually wants to have you. The harsh message she sent also means the opposite of what she says. And what she really means is that she means to ride you, my lord, and laying you down softly on the back and be with you in your bed. The rest is only sweet provocations to excite you. I have no doubt she means to give in to you soon. Thus spoke the hideous Durdara, but his comrade, the ancient Asura Tamra, rose at once and said, my lord, I disagree. I saw evil dreams all last night. Whenever I woke trembling, I heard the birds of day singing dismally in the trees of night. In a final dream near dawn, a frail woman wearing a black gown that covered her from head to foot stood in an inner courtyard of this palace and wept piteously, unceasingly. And this morning we have all seen the bats and owls that wheeled through the city as if to foretell calamity, and they all cried out in fell voices. All the omens portend to some terrible danger. Then just think of it, O king. Who is this woman with that no known mother or father who has appeared suddenly out of nowhere, riding on a golden lion? I would take an army out to meet her and be rid of her. Mahasura stalked through the great Sabha with his cloven hooves, pondering the conflicting counsel. Then he brightened and said, well, then take an army with you and go to meet her. Speak to her first gently, and if she is amenable to persuasion, bring her back to me. Only if she resists you and strikes you, you must attack her with weapons. She is exceptional, Tamra, and even if you force to fight her, do so with honor, and don't be barbarous when she is vanquished. Suddenly Tamra felt a singing sensation in the pit of his stomach, as if Yama had stroked him. But that Asura bowed down to his king, and taking an army, went to meet the Divine Mother. Since they went with swift vimanas and mounted an uncanny beast, they flew there quickly. Tamar saw that the woman wore wonderful wildflower garlands around her throat, and also radiant ornaments with gems and sparkled like colored stars. And he approached her and said, "Devi, my lord Mahis has heard of your unequaled beauty and wants you to become his queen. My master has vanquished all the Devas. He wants to share his boundless kingdom with you." Ah, Devi, look at you, how lovely you are, surely destined to be the queen of all creation. What need have you for arrows when your eyes serve the same purpose? Then just think of it. If you become Lord Mahesha's queen, how magnificent your sons will both be. I beg you, come with me to the Lord, who waits eagerly for you. But she laughed in Tamra's face and said, "Fool, go and tell your master, who has obviously lost his wits for lust, that I say to him, I am not a she-buffalo like his mother, with horns. I have no need for a husband. He who is truly Lord of everything, the witness of all ages, is beyond desire. Tell him that Shiva, the auspicious one, is my husband. And would anyone abandon such an immaculate Purusha for a dull-witted, insignificant Asura? Tell Mahisa, O Tamra, that I repeat what I said earlier to him." Suddenly her eyes blazed, and she was truly terrible before Tamra. She threw back her head and gave such a howl that galaxies shivered. Tamra, who was nearest the Devi, thought the end of the universe had come. Tamra arrived before his king, and his eyes were wide with fear. In a quivering voice, he said, "She deafened us with her howl." And then her golden beast roared so loudly that we fled. Mahisa called another Saba of foremost Anabas, and he said to them, "What shall we do, my friends, wise ones? Our race future depends on this council. How secret what we decide here remains. Who has ever seen this fate? I say that what we achieve by our strength and our wisdom is fate. So give me your counsel now. What shall we do next?" Vidalaka, who was taller than any of the other demons there except Mahisa himself, rose and said in a voice deep as ashes, "First of all, let us discover whose wife she is, who comes to brazenly seek battle with us. For myself, I feel the Devas have created her out of their own Shaktis. When war breaks out, I have no doubt they will set her before them, and then Vishnu, Rudra, and Indra and the others will kill the rest of us, while she, the Devi, will seek out on the field, my lord, and fulfill the reason for her birth, to kill you. I beg you, Mahisa, to take care. As far as our dharma is to serve you and die for you if need be. For everything we have today is because of you. But as victory or defeat, it is impossible to tell which one we'll have against the Devi. Even if we are to be vanquished for her, we cannot face her in battle. And we cannot fly to Patala because a woman with 18 arms tells us to. No, that would bring eternal shame upon our heads. Shame that is even worse than death. So if she must have battle with us, let us fight, for there is no shame in dying in war. Vaskala, whose voice was so mellifluous that he could seduce anyone by just speaking to her, now rose and said, "Have no fear, Lord. I, by myself, will kill Chandika and her beast, whose eyes already roll in her head from a surfeit of wine. His courage is only the bravado of the purple grape. Fear no enemy king, for I will kill Indra, Yama, Kuber, Agni, and all the others. What then is this drunken, arrogant woman? She is mad with wine. Just send me to fight with her, and I will bring her pretty head back to you." Durmukha seemed to agree with Vaskala's sentiment. He put in, surely the Devi have created this woman of illusion, just to put fear in our hearts, for they can do nothing else to you. Let her come now with 18 for arms, for they can do nothing, or 100 hands, and I will cut them all off, and her head for an encore. All the asuras roared their approval of what the counselor said, and Mahisa was emboldened. Said my master, Vedavyasa, to King Janamajaya. Jai Mahamaya ki jai, Vishveshwari Mata ki jai, Bole Baba ki jai.